All right, so I just got out of the theater from seeing Project Hail Mary, directed by Lord Miller, starring Ryan Gosling. This has been a very highly anticipated movie. This movie, of course, being based on the Andy Weir novel of the same name. This movie's been kind of hyped up by the book readers to another level. I'm a pretty big fan of Ryan Gosling already, so when you put him into a science fiction movie directed by Lord Miller, you immediately have my attention. As we've gotten closer to the release of this movie, more screenings have happened. People have kind of come out, they've seen it, they loved it. They've kind of been gushing and raving over it, saying that this is kind of the best movie in years. It's going to change your life. This is the movie we needed right now, and on and on and on. So with this being a movie that I'm already kind of excited for, and then I'm hearing all this good word of mouth about how incredible, insane this movie is, my expectations and excitement shoot sky high. Now that I've actually seen the movie, while I don't think it's this like perfect masterpiece that everyone's saying it is, I do think it's still a really good movie. Now, the heart and soul of this movie is really going to be your character Grace, which is played by Ryan Gosling, and Rocky. Their relationship, their meeting, their interactions, their kind of brainstorming to kind of solve a shared problem, that really is the heartbeat of this movie. And without them, you really have nothing. Now, Rocky is made to be kind of a lovable character in this movie. In reality, he's just a rock puppet. There was some CGI in creating him, but it was an actual practical puppet on set. I think a lot of credit is really owed to Ryan Gosling for making this work. He's on set acting really with himself into a fake puppet rock, which it has to be believable, right? Ryan Gosling is in those scenes making you actually feel like he's having these conversations and this discovery with this rock puppet, and it feels real. And I think without Ryan Gosling's ability to kind of make that believable, this movie just wouldn't work. Now, this movie is kind of told in a non-linear way, and it's my understanding that it's told the same way in the book. It kind of jumps through time periods and back and forth between space and Earth. And while I think that maybe is something that works well in the books, I think for me personally in the movie, it kind of created some slight pacing issues. It kind of felt like all the momentum that we were kind of building on the ship in space was kind of like halted, and then we would kind of go back to Earth and kind of get more context, which was helpful, but it did kind of like stop the momentum, and it felt a little jarring at times, and it kind of did kill some momentum that the movie was building. This movie does take a second to get going. I think the first act was honestly kind of slow. I was honestly really a little concerned at first because it just wasn't really taking off in the way that I was expecting it to. It just took a while for things to kind of get set up and established and get going. But it does eventually get there. And once we get going, definitely by the time that Rocky enters the picture, I think everyone is kind of fully invested in the story and what's going on. I will say that I'm not a book reader. I didn't read Project Hail Mary. I'm kind of going into this movie just as a movie, going in pretty much blind, except for a trailer or two. I'm hearing a lot of people say that you need to read the book to get the most out of the movie. I personally kind of reject that sentiment. I don't think you should be required to kind of do homework to appreciate a movie. I think the movie is supposed to stand on its own. The book is the book, the movie is the movie. I think the film's job is to try to capture the essence of the book and kind of hit all the same beats. But at the end of the day, it's supposed to stand alone as its own thing. So overall, Project Hail Mary didn't change my life, but it's still quite a good movie. I think if you enjoy science fiction or if you enjoy space movies, you'll definitely get a kick out of Project Hail Mary. But those are just my thoughts. Have you had a chance to go out and see Project Hail Mary yet? If so, hop down in the comments and let me know your thoughts. And with that said, I'm out of here, guys.